IMF, this document that I'm holding itself, at a point, Guam Nolen himself was very confused. In one breath, he uses the term loss. In another breath, he uses the term cost. I believe that it's a cost of sale. I mean, TV3, as an entity, Obedient General, cannot generate revenue without incurring cost. It doesn't mean you have made a loss, especially where the outcome outweighs whatever input you put in. And that is why they safely say, here I'm reading again, that as a result of the gold bond, the Bank of Ghana's domestic gold purchase program, they were able to realize 10.9 billion. Those gold bond capital sits at 10.8 billion, I understand, because they run it, the IMF ran it. 10.9 billion was generated by expending 1.74 billion. Who will not opt for this? Exactly. Who will not do? Why must we even debate on this? That you were spending 1.7 billion and made money to the tune of 10.9 billion, you net it for how much? One is about 1.5% of GDP. The revenue that accrued to the state was 9.5%. And you want to be, because on the altar of politics, cheap politicking, come and sit here and say that.
But they said they are losses.
Yeah, wait, look, let me quote the IMF is own. At the point
which page?
No, I'm referring to page 8.
Page 8.
This IMF, this is what they rely on. This is the only document that they have.
It's on the page of IMF. So anybody who likes, you can go and...
So this is page 8.
Page 8.
Listen to the IMF using cost. Here they are deviating from the use of the term loss. And it's under paragraph 14. You are here, you can read. Domestic gold program, purchasing program activities will be fully transferred to the gold board as of July 1st, 2027. And listen to what the IMF, those that are quoting the IMF, when they got to this portion, they decided not to read it. And
they skipped it?
They skipped it. Under a memorandum of understanding, the Bank of Ghana will fully exit the domestic gold purchase program and will no longer be exposed to its quasi-fiscal risks in the future. It will continue to play a role as gold board's fiscal agent and as a recipient of monetary gold for its reserve. All costs, listen here, they didn't use the term loss. All costs of the domestic gold purchase program will be transparently assumed by government. They didn't say all losses, because they know that it is a cost of sales. Now, these costs are expected to be brought down to 5% of gold purchase. These costs are expected to be brought down to 5% of gold purchase. Some progress, listen to the IMF that they are relying. Some progress has been made in 2026 quarter one. The IMF is saying that in spite of what they realized in 2025, there has been monumental progress in quarter one of 2026. With this cost down from 14.5% in 2025 to 11.4%. This was done notably through the halving of assay fees, service charges, and other logistical costs. The spread between the Forex Bureau rate and the reference rate has also been reduced significantly.
And this is the same IMF.
This is the same IMF. And when the minority got to this part, because they know a lot of Ghanaians do not read, but to my youth, when people say something, go and get the document and read it for yourself. It doesn't take anything.
And this is on the IMF page.
On the IMF page. And this was what, this is supposed to be the selected issues paper that they reference, that indeed Ghana expended $1.7 billion in getting 10.8 and 4. And so you must go and change the gold bond and go and change the Bank of Ghana.
Why do you seem to make an overall commitment to this statement? That you look at the overall cost-benefit analysis.
Yes.
You say that a cost of 1.7, which of course, the IMF says could be improved, and this improving is better. And so we should continue on this policy path.
Yes. The point is that the IMF recognizes, and I just read to you, that our economy has been stabilized largely because of the domestic gold purchase program. Again, the IMF recognizes that for the first time, because the gold board came into, I was one of those that initially criticized the gold board. I thought that the PMMC was doing the same role that the gold board was going to do. And indeed, they are doing that, but they have brought some levels of vim and vigor into that sector.
Vim and vigor.
Vim and vigor, and they are doing something that is right. Because for the first time in the history of this country, do you know in 2025, small-scale miners overtook, in terms of volumes, gold production against the large-scale miners. And the IMF itself says, and listen to what they say, they are giving us a clue, and as a country, we must, as a matter of urgency, begin to know. They tell us, the IMF tells us that the large-scale miners or mining companies in this country does not contribute a far into our economy. And I want to get a relevant provision for you. Maybe your time will not allow, but I'll ask, I'm going to. The World Bank, the IMF says, that your Anglo Gold, your Newmont, your Gold Fields, and so on and so forth, their contribution in terms of revenue to the Ghanaian economy is not as substantial as we expect. And that the artisanal small-scale miners have contributed immensely. Now we will be the last people to be lectured by those that nearly so tall mismanage the economy of this country. We will be the last political party or individuals to accept the views of individuals that nearly sold vacuum. The precious institution, when they were in power, And they claim they relaunched. In fact, it was a relaunching of gold, domestic gold purchase, because we have been buying gold to the Bank of Ghana since time immemorial. When they launched it in 2021, in 2024, the cedi to the dollar at a point was nearly 1:17 cedi. So it means that we were doing something wrong. The IMF itself acknowledges that the gold for oil was just a top adventure that all of us were taking through. And I want to admonish you.
Listen.
Let me read that profit. Let me read that portion so that you see, domestic gold purchase program operations have generated significant losses for the Bank of Ghana. Losses in 2024 were equivalent to almost $400 million. And let's know, 1/3 of which were related to gold for oil. That's the cost.
The 400 million.
The 400 million. They just tell you that 1/3 of it, the cost that they incurred in terms of 400, 1/3 of it was attributable to the gold for oil. And I'm saying that gold for oil, we never knew the off-takers. The question that Afenyo was asking yesterday, we did not know the off-takers, we did not know how much a dollar was being sold for. You did not know all this, yet you were relying on a document. So on what basis did you arrive at the figure called 1.74 billion? We got to be serious in this country. No wonder at the point somebody was yawning during the press conference.